Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2, where it gives me an arguably inappropriate amount of pleasure to introduce to you the Zerg in the bottom right. In my not-so-humble opinion, the most entertaining player in the game. It's the final boss. It's dark. But where there is darkness, there must be light. Where there's a villain, hopefully you can find a hero. The smiling assassin. Opposite him, yes, it is a day that ends in Y, and therefore Dark is facing off against Hero yet again. The last time, at least I recollect, I recall, if you would, Hero got the better of him. I'm not actually sure if this match was played before or after that Korean StarCraft 2 League Finals, but it's a best of 3 PVZ. And it's a match you may have seen before. It's a match you may have watched me cast. And if you know anything about my commentary, you know what's coming next. Yes, I am gonna beg you for likes and subscribes. Thank you, Jimmy. What? 1,177 likes. To get that many on this cast, on this series, then I'll cast another one. And I'll probably do it anyways. But thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you've had a good day so far. And hopefully, as always, it's about to get just a little bit better. As these two, probably the most common matchup in professional StarCraft 2, yet still wholly unpredictable. As between Hero's significant and unhealthy aversion to doors, despite his affection for gateways, and Dark's just ignorance of sanity and penchant for showmanship. Well, hopefully we navigate our way to describing how unpredictable this is. Yes, Hero is going to start with the Threekles, but he did add a Phoenix, making things a little spicier here. Maybe going to pick up a Queen, and that actually opens up quite an opportunity to kill some drones. New and creative, well, old and creative ways of pressuring the mineral line. But Brenda gets her revenge. The Oracle shot down. And probably demonstrating a little better than I ever could describe why we don't usually see that strategy used very often. As, oh, all right. Don't worry, just go on in. Follow me. I've done this before. What happened to the other guy? Don't worry about it. This time it'll work. What do you mean this time? Well, Hero gets it right the second time. But Dark is baneling busting because Hero's been dilly-dallying around with these silly Phoenixes and Oracles. And, well, there is nothing that has scouted or is in position to stop the banelings. The question will be whether the Oracle will be back in time. There is a Stalker at the wall here. The Oracle's on the way back. Dark adjusts course, heading for the third base instead. In fact, it's a little awkward. The banelings really don't have much to hit. He decides to just go for the pylon here. There's not any great targets. The fact that Hero had Stalkers at the wall kind of stopped this baneling bust in its tracks. And I'll be honest. No, what? There's not even a wall. The banelings are just trying to stay. He saves a Stalker with the Phoenix. What a cute move, but he's going to lose 8 probes, so it's not particularly great. So here's the problem, though. Dark has had 33 drones. That is not a significant number, especially when compared with Hero's 47. He's just still building Zerglings. He's doing the Platinum League Zerg strategy of, well, I tried a bunch of Zerglings and it didn't work, so I'm going to try more Zerglings. And Hero taken somewhat aback and pinned back indeed, and Blink finally completes. He's able to retreat in past something resembling a wall. The Nexus has been taking a few claws throughout all this. The shields are down, and a couple of Zerglings are still working on it. I think he may eventually kill the Nexus. A pylon has been rebuilt. Dark doesn't actually kill the Nexus. He's building a drone. And 16 more Zerglings. Like, he's got 50, he just keeps building Zerglings. It's one of those things that it's so dumb, it just might work. At this stage, all Hero has to do is not get surrounded by a bunch of Zerglings. He doesn't know for sure. He's chrono boosting a Nexus that doesn't have anything building, which is an incredibly small offense compared to potentially losing his Stalkers. There's +1 melee on the way. Dark has snuck a few more drones out, but he doesn't have a lair. He is entirely reliant on Hero making a mistake, and Hero seems on the cusp of doing so. As he's moved his way out, the only real risk here is if Hero is caught outside his base. I mean, we went over it, we'll go over it again. But at the end of the day, yeah, the Oracles find a couple more Banes. Zerglings. Still some Banes over to the right flank. The creep spread is remarkable. A lot of Queens as well. Hero is fighting into all the Zerglings. He hasn't built probes for quite a while. He's got a proxy gate on the only spot without creep. The Oracles hold positioning further back. The Knitting Crew is coming together. The Queen's gonna gun down more Oracles with their vast experience. The Stalkers are caught all over the creep. The gateway will complete, but not in a position to really do anything about this. And this is before +1 melee. Hero didn't have any upgrades on his Stalkers. They don't do particularly well against, well, anything, but Zerglings are definitely not high on the list of things they counter. Zerglings taking down in just an embarrassing amount of Stalkers here for Hero. 26. Dark has spent 160 Zerglings so far, and I'm sure he'll do it again. A Zealot is warped into the weird... This is not how you build a door, Hero! I don't... The gateway... He's still warping in. The Baneling is used. He doesn't cancel that last warping. So here we are, the feeding. I'm helping. Guys, shoot it down. She's right there. Okay, the Queens are gonna get chased down. +1 melee is now done. Queens being chased. A lot of extra... Yeah, I'm totally helping. Down goes another Queen, but the Zerglings are able to wrap up a couple more Stalkers. Dark is down to 2 Queens. He's making this work with just Lings and creep spread. A few Lings are chasing down the Stalkers, who are now caught behind between a dark and a hard place. Well, a rock and a dark. Which sounds weirdly inappropriate, despite not actually being so. Somehow, I don't know why and how Dark is still alive. I know how, but I don't know why, because all Hero had to do was back off. But this is how Dark do. He just gets in your head, and he lives there rent-free, and you start wondering, who's this person living in here with me? Wait a second, I don't have a brother. And then Dark says, well, not anymore. It's like, how did you get it? I'm sorry. Where were we? I blacked out for at least a second. A bunch of Zerglings. That's it. Anything else? A whole bunch, 200 Zerglings so far. Dark has made it work. Hero goes back. He's at 60-something probes now. He's returned, snapped back to reality. But he's lost so much, and Dark still has all this creep spread. I think Hero thought he could just march across the map with the Blink Stalkers. Which, those prancy Stalkers don't really get much done without any upgrades against Mass Zergling. If Dark hadn't been building Zerglings for so long after the original All-In, he probably wouldn't have had enough to hold the line, and even then it cost him almost everything. But still... Hero just now getting a Templar Archives. Dark has turned this into something of a macro game. And Hero has allowed it. He canceled... I have no idea why, but he canceled an Extractor. I think that was an accident. Well, the Infestation Pit is... Is he actually going to get to a hive? What is... About 200 Zerglings ago, I would have told you that was ridiculous, but here we are. Some roaches on the way. A small acknowledgement that, like, 3 Archons could counter his entire army as it stands right now. Or scuttles around as it does. This game has gone far outside the realms of predictability, as I predicted. Which, we're not going to delve too deep into the spiraling meta that is that statement. But instead... realize that Dark at 69 drones has somehow scraped and clawed his way back into it. And Hero now feels like the one who has the obligation to attack. Because if Dark is allowed to fester, well, I think I chose my words wisely. Because right now, infestation pit done, hive on the way, creep over 3/4 of the relevant parts of the map. Hero's still on 3 bases, hasn't built probes in quite a while. He's still sitting on 61. As Dark is back up to 75. Hero, the Protoss have been sleeping for quite a while, but now we'll return. That's a lot of zealots. Is there a Baneling nest? Yes, there is. This started with a... Of course there is. Baneling speed and adrenal glands on the way. One of the queens is going to get caught. Nope. Saved by the brave actions of several more Zerglings. Now that is a strong Protoss army. +1 is done. +2 melee, not quite there yet for Dark. Stasis wards in the midst of everything. Banelings expended on just a couple zealots. Gonna be able to target down one of the Archons. Force field's amazing here. And the force fields are able to zone out, but also funnel the zealots potentially into the Banes. The hatchery will fall, which will muddy the waters of this fight. The Oracle's looking to chase things down. The Phoenix still helping. Morlings and Banes. Roaches on the back line. Save some of the Archons. But the Zerg army having a tough time chewing through the meatier parts of this fierce Protoss death ball. Immortals and Archons. He will back off, let the creep proceed. He's done the damage, he killed the hatch. There's no reason to make the same mistake you just did. But of course, oh my god, is the creep blocking? The creep is blocking the Nexus. Hero wants to... Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Warp Prism into the main. Is there a Viper? No. Okay. That uncanny ability to hit flying units that have no right to be. Not coming through quite yet. Hero doesn't have much to distract him at the moment. Can't believe the creeps. Well, Hero just takes the other 4th, like, of course. But couple Ruptors on the way. Things have slowed down as Dark has refused to surrender, and Hero has been forced to respect him. A Zealot comes in, just leading the charge. I don't know where that Zealot came from, but brave. Queen's taking more pot shots at the Prism. It looks like Dark will be allowed to max out yet again. Well, not yet again. This will be the first time for either player this game. But Hero has seen the advantage kind of slip through his grasp as he blinked his way into disaster. And now it's on Dark. He's going to be the aggressor. Adrenal Gland coming up on +3 Zerglings. The Disruptor volley is fired. Doesn't find much with the first salvo. Zerglings on top of the Ruptors. Gets 2 Roaches with the next. Immortals making their way up. A wall of Archons here stands against the Zerg. But they have no legs with which to stand on. And that is not really relevant to this fight, but is relevant to the metaphorical version, as Dark is able to take out the front line and several Archons with it. 7 Archons down for the low, low price of 350 Zerglings so far. The way these two play when they're not in the finals. I don't believe this is the finals, though. Best of 3 is not the finals of anything. It's like a ladder game, but the highest level. Just chaos. The Disruptors do find a hit. Another one drops out. That one has to be canceled. The Archons are taken out. The Stalkers blink forward. Quite little and probably too late. A few Banelings rolling in on the creep that is at Hero's 3rd. He'll just bust through. Oh my god, he just slams into the Stalkers. Just takes what he can get. +3 melee about to complete, and Hero's supply has plummeted. 183 to 128. What is there left to deal with the overwhelming Zerg? Disruptor is taken out by Corrosive Bile, doesn't even get a shot off. The Robo's just going to be taken down. Disruptor shot clips a Ravager, but Dark has clawed his way all the way back from that half-hearted battling bust all the way to victory. Hero. It was a team effort, and I know they're on the same team, but Hero definitely squandered an advantage in that early mid-game. He tried to cleave through with the Blink Stalkers, but he was the one who ended up not seeing. He was covered in darkness. I can't believe the creep spread hit him. Hero. One of the most Hero games I've ever seen. Blunking and, well, actually, there's a big difference. There's blinking, blunking, and blonking, of course. Blinking is your normal maneuvering, usually used defensively. Pull back the hurt stalker, stuff like that. Maybe blinking to snipe something. A blunk is when you dive in front in order to block physically with the stalkers, maybe actually block for more important units like immortals. And then a blonk is much of what Hero did, which is blunking, but you fail. Because history is written by the victors, and Dark won that game. So, therefore, those stalkers were a disaster. We'll see if history will repeat itself. Dark up 1-0, but Hero's been here before. Where are you going? No? Okay. Interesting drone. Okay, he's proxy hit. Yeah. Dark will take the second option for an expansion, which is, well, in this case, he's actually into it. This is not a spiteful proxy hatch. This has intent behind it. It looks like a spine crawler version of the all-in. And Hero is looking for a third. Dark faked a drone. There's a spawning pool on the way. Hero! He knows. That's a second gate, by the way. Yeah, he already realized this was a strong possibility, and now he's confirmed it. That doesn't necessarily help him. That information can be turned against him in many ways. But this is about the ideal timing you could have gotten that info. The hatch is not done. You still have plenty of time to build out of now 2 gateways. So, Hero will even be able to block the more typical natural. And that's even more important at this stage, because denying Dark the ability to expand behind, at least easily, makes him much more vulnerable to counterattack, especially with double adepts. Hero has a beat on this one so far. But you could have argued the same last game. Well, the same last game was a relatively standard opener into Dark playing so dumb it became smart again. Dark is starting off dumb with this game. And Hero is calling him on what's not even a bluff here. So, well, he actually finished the pylon. He may come in for another one. And the Zerglings may get it. He's just blocking with the probe. And without speed, the Zerglings... wow. And the Adepts. The coup de grace. Bringing it together. The Zealot Queen. Creep spread. He may just try to creep and deny the natural. The Zerglings. Hero, you gotta take this seriously. Okay. Hero's building Adepts. He's gonna kill the Queen with them. Some drones on the edge of the creep. He didn't see the drones build. He gets an inject. He did not see the drones finish. Hero doesn't know about the spines. Oh my god. Why are you like this? Oh, he sees the spines now. He's just gonna go for the hatch. There is no denying the creep yet. He's got a robo on the way. Dark has speed and banelings, of course. He's trying to creep spread over. I'm sure the Adepts will take that out. Indeed, they do. Try to deny it for now. The hatchery itself going to be used against Dark's Zerglings. There are a whole bunch of them. Another Queen's gonna pop out. The Spies are gonna try to intercept. Wait a second. And here come the Zerglings with the wraparound. The Spine's blocked for a moment, though, by the Zerglings here. Spine crawlers over top. Backbone of this attack. I don't. Okay. I mean, so somehow it has taken root. And Dark gets the Zerglings in. He's gonna wrap around on the spines, or the stalkers here, not the spines. The queen is spreading. Get out of the way! One of the spines taken out. Hero does see. Wait, there's Zerglings in the base. Okay, okay, just a couple. Just a couple. Hero. Dark. Oh my god. He's gonna build a Baneling in the corner. Try to soften this up. The Spine Crawler doing some real damage, but the Queens are going to be taken down. The Zergling trying to soften this up. He's going to see the single Baneling. I think he meant to build 2. He just didn't have the money here. As Dark is at 19 drones. The Queens refuse to die. Another Spine completes, because of course it does. He may be able to... I don't know if you could actually dodge the Spine hits. You can definitely juggle the Stalkers, but you can also kill the Spine, which is, like, permanently dodging. And it may be... Oh, well... It looks like the Baneling actually came in. Wait, 5 pro... Instant replay. I need to know. I need to know what happened. He killed it, right? 5... I saw 5 probes come up. There's no way this one Baneling... Are you kidding me? The Zergling softened up multiple probes. Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? You really, like... You cannot let a single Zergling into your base. Oh, no. Dark is like plutonium. Alright? He's not healthy to have inside your main. Quite a toxic player. Oh, what? Brenda! Come home! I have no home. My home was destroyed by the Protoss. Your home was on their front... I don't care. Somehow the queen survives this. Zerglings will be forced away by the force field. But that one Baneling turned this from a rout into a game. As 5 probes was about a quarter of the economy. Maybe a little less, but... And Dark seems determined to make a Baneling bust the focal point of this entire series. The 4 Stalker Prism. Again, Hero has something resembling Blink Stalkers, just kind of casually hanging out on the other side, where he should turn his attentions back at home. There is not enough energy for another force field. The Banelings will get in. Well, he's trying to use as much of them as possible. I don't think it'll be enough here. No, don't let them in there. The Baneling softened up some of the probes. He's gonna kill a kind of uncomfortable number. 3 is still uncomfortable, but Hero's still at 20. That could have been much worse. The work of the Baneling earlier actually softened them up, and I think that's what Dark was going for, but there should be enough units this time. It's never over till he types 2 Gs, if he deems it worthy. I don't know why there are 3. The Queen! I told you I have no home. I never will. Well, that target the War Prism here. The Queen may actually get it. Micro's away. Yeah, that should be... that. The other Queen is coming home, but GG. Hero survives game 2. We're all tied up. Because, of course we are. I have no further commentary. Like and subscribe. Game 3, the decider. Assuming it's not a draw, which is not an assumption. Wait. So he sent a drone out. He's gonna leave the ambiguity there. There was a probe. He does come back afterwards. It is much more comfortable to take your natural, even if delayed 20 seconds or so. That is to take that third and be vulnerable to the oracles, to the adepts. This is the well, I guess game 1 was relatively normal right up until it wasn't. I don't know what normal is anymore since Dark versus Hero is like 2/3 of all the Zerg versus Protoss that I watch, so I don't know why I'm pretending. Like, what I'm imagining is my idealized version of Hero like 8 months ago, which is 3 calls into Blink +1 into Archon Immortal, and then maybe sprinkle some disruptors or carriers in. Which occasionally happens, but Dark or Hero, both of them seem to conspire to avoid that. Especially recently, so... Yeah, and as for Zerg, it is +1 Zerglings into Ravagerling Bang, which we still see, but the devil's really in the details when it comes to Zerg. Because, like, what is Cyril's strength, right? We have to go back to. And if you can't come up with anything in particular, like, he doesn't really have a signature strategy besides just doing everything better, faster, stronger, and arguably harder. So, Zerg is all about exactly what you're using those early queens for, when you decide to get a lair, not necessarily what the unit composition is, but how you go about getting there. Because a lot of Zerg is just surviving the poking and prodding and the tweaking of the ear. That is adepts and oracles roaming around your base, essentially unchecked, but for a few knitting needles thrown out by the queens. Oracle. It is. Not going to try the Phoenix again, I see. What a revelation. Honestly, the Phoenix just... Killing the Overlords doesn't feel meaningful enough. Though, Hero may disagree. There's a Phoenix. This time just behind the Oracle. The Zerglings catch the Adept. They do not release it. 340 on the double gas at the net. Is this a mass Stargate build? He started that Oracle like kind of suspicious. I'm getting some vibes here. Is he actually mining the... Oh, yeah. Okay. This is like a fleet... This is like a carrier rush or something. What sort of spiciness do you have in store for us, Hero? He's gonna take a third. The Phoenix is slightly less gas than the Oracle as well, so... That does add to any sort of... heavy tech shenanigans. Yeah, the third Oracle on the way. He hasn't committed to anything yet, but he's now got 173 gas. So if we're gonna go down that road, now is the time to start walking it. Dark is getting a rather quick lair here, which could go a whole heap and help in the different directions, depending on what he thinks he's most vulnerable to. Oracle slide by the spore. Queen forced to watch. Okay, Hero, you got 250 gas. He just gets the Twilight Forge. He might have been just reacting to what Dark's doing, though. It feels quite late to be adding that tech on. Goes for the heavy Adept timing as well. And the Nidus is just like... He just builds it. He has to know the Phoenix is going to scout that. Dark doesn't let the boy watch. Definitely fits the vibe, but I could see Dark as Anchorman. In fact, probably a better one. I'd watch the Korean version of that, 100%. Oh, Phoenix dies. He's just going Nidus. He's got a Hydra Den on the way. He's building a bunch of drones. I bet he throws it out there just in the middle of the map, just to inspire fear. As the Nidus Scream is up there. Honestly, the Nidus Scream is way worse than Nuclear Launch Detected, because Nuclear Launch Detected, you have time. You hear the Nidus Scream. Time's run out. Well, he isn't building anything, but he's gonna keep it there. He's using this kind of space he's created for himself with the mind game to build a bunch more drones. Has the Hydra Den been spotted? No. The infestation pit. It looks like he's just gonna rush lurkers. No point in canceling that Nidus. He might use it later. Evo chamber may give some of this away. And that just getting an Evo chamber, he clearly, and having all these drones in this gas, clearly means that he's not going to commit to some sort of all-in. And Nidus Network is costly. I believe 200 150s or 150 150. It's gone back and forth a few times now. The Nidus Worms as well, not super cheap, but the threat is potentially game-ending. And Dark's Niduses dig deeper and more darklier than anyone else's. That sounded more uncomfortable than sultry, but here we are. Lurker Den on the way. The Zealots they don't even know how to react. They just get immediately caught in panic. A bunch more Zealots in the middle of the map, met by a bunch of Queens. Not expecting such a royal reception. The Hydras will easily dispatch the Adepts. And Dark at 66 drones. Comfortable 3 base economy. Adding a few more. Is the Hive spotted on the way? I believe the infestation pit has not been spotted, but at this point it's kind of implied. What? There's 6 oracles. Whoa, where did all these come from? The octacles. I was so focused on what Dark was doing, I neglected to realize that there are 8 oracles on the field, which, against Mass Hydra is not... It's this weird balance. It's not enough oracles to break through the queens. I think he was expecting a Roach Queen Nidus sort of style, in which case this many oracles would make sense. They still have an opportunity. He's going to fly this fleet of disco balls into the main, and he could easily burn through a spore. And Dark understands that. Here come the queens. One of them will transfuse. What a save. Get off my queen! Oh, Karen, calm down. Well, Oracle's getting a lot of emotional damage, but very little actual damage done. Now we got double Colossus on the way. This has been, much like Game 1 was just hectic, low-tech brawl, this is each of them trying to one-up each other on the tech tree. Hero tries to beat the Nidus and Queen timing with Mass Oracle, but Dark already has a Hive and Lurkers on the way, to which Hero already going with double Robo into Templar Archives. Though he doesn't have a Fleet Beacon, which would be the ultimate one-up. I don't think he's anticipated the Lurkers, even though they do seem like the natural conclusion to this build. Viper's not a bad counter to most everything on the field. Parasitic Bomb for the Oracles. Technically, you could cast Parasitic Bomb on Colossi. There's Stasis Wards. Alright, those aren't Observers, those aren't Zealots, that isn't Protoss Pox. Those are Stasis Wards, most of those little dots out there. Because at this point, what else are you gonna do with them? As the Hydras will easily ping cushion more than enough Oracles if they ever choose to fight alone. There are 20 or so Zealots out in the field, most of them waiting for an opportunity to dive into undefended locations. We'll find it, but the triple spine and a Lurker behind. It's going to be dealt with. Immortal's on the way. Oracle's into the main, but Parasitic Bomb, not often seen, but definitely useful as several of the Oracles go down immediately. He was trying to burn the Hive, and Dark not having it. Easily dealing with the Oracles, driving the rest away. The Stasis Wards will delay. Okay. Alright. Stop right there. At some point, so much of the army is in stasis, you can't really do anything. Dark, like 20 supply in stasis there. Does Hero have enough to jump it when it comes out? There's the Fleet Beacon. He's gonna get a Lurker and a Hydra. Yeah. Well, they're very dead. Finally, some Immortals on the way, but... Oh my, Dark. He sees 4 Colossi. He's like, yeah, Lurkers will probably do fine. 8 more Lurkers. There are 2 Vipers, but that's really all he needs in most scenarios. The High Templar with feedback could interrupt those Vipers, but it is hard to get them in position in time before the Viper's able to drag some of this out. and Vipers may not be needed. If there are enough Lurkers, transfuses, one Colossus ripped to shreds, Storm not nearly enough to keep Dark at bay. Mothership is on the way. We've got a Spire in production as well, just in case. It feels like Dark has the advantage here, but Hero's army has a lot of potential too. Those are full energy Vipers. Feedback. A huge potential deal here. The Oracles drop the Revelations, help deal with a lot of these Lurkers. Still 5 of them left over. Big Storm hits most of the Hydras. Hero making his way around. Another Revelation on the edge of the field. The Vipers trying to come in. They aren't revealed quite yet. Those Templar jockeying for position, but the Lurker line. And I heard a scream. Did I hear a scream? Was there a Nidus? He yanks in an Immortal. He yanks in an Archon. Another Immortal. One for the road. But Hero going towards the center. I thought I heard a Nidus. Maybe I'm just hearing things. All right. Shadow Nidus. 2 more Stargates on the way. The Colossi. Oh, loses a couple Templar to the Lurkers, wandering a little far forward. Again, the army looking for an opportunity. Dark on the low ground. The Lurkers closing in. The Protoss army surrounded, but it doesn't quite know it yet. Has a Revelation. Oh, not much you can do from that angle. Hero wanders in. The Colossi technically, well, they don't outrange, but the Oracles are helping out significantly here. There aren't that many Hydras left over. Storms across everything. Mothership has arrived. Feedbacks on top of the Vipers. And now the passive, well, the active cloaking field here will save the rest of the army. The rest of the army, which is 3 Immortals and a badly hurt High Templar. So, the Daughtership arrives. We now have Ricky, the accidental swarm host, gracing us with his accidental presence, which means this is indeed a good game. But how far is it from its conclusion? Ricky doesn't actually portend any sort of tidings. He just indicates the game has gotten very dramatic, and we're relatively far up the tech tree. Mothership and a handful of Immortal Archon. There's not that much detection here for Hero. I don't know if he has any way to deal with these Lurkers, which are closing in from both sides. The cloaking field activated again. I don't know if we've seen a time warp. It's not on cooldown, but now it is, as the Mothership is just straight up dead. And the Lurkers are closing in. Hero has yet to really come up with a counter. Even Ricky got involved. Dark always wanted to get Ricky involved. Drops down the Locust. Is just... Ricky dies on top of everything, but Dark will get his revenge. Yanks at the Colossus, gets instantaneous vengeance, and secures the 2-1 victory. A hectic slide there, a chaotic series, but this time around, Dark clearly getting the better of Hero. I don't know what Hero was expecting to do in games 1 and 3 there. Honestly, this series was all Dark all the time, even game 2 with the proxy hatch. And so it goes sometimes with the final boss. But I hope you enjoyed this relatively Okay, I've been struggling today. Please, forgiveness. And now I completely forgot what I was... to do the outro bit. Yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you got the means of motivation, check. Thank you for watching. I hope I made your day a little bit better. Like, subscribe. I'll see you next time. Good luck, have fun. Stay chill.